Hello everyone, welcome. Welcome to another Monster Hunter Rise multiplayer night. I hope you guys are doing well tonight. We're starting a little late. That's just how life is sometimes, but I hope you guys are still down to play some fun Monster Hunter Rise. I know I am. I had a pretty okay day today. It was my day off, did some chores, slept in a lot. It was okay. Hope you guys are doing good too. Gonna cheers you guys prematurely here with my coffee. It's still too hot to drink, but that's okay. I'm gonna give you guys some beans here, and we're gonna jump on over to the game. There's a couple things I have to set up still, like the hub and such, but then we'll get rolling. First day of Rise for you since it released, basically. That's so exciting, Radmeal. I'm excited to get to hunt with you tonight. Multi-night, yeah! It's a multiplayer night, S-Fox. I thought that's why you were talking about Rise. Alright, let's go ahead and get our hub set up here. We have a queue system that we're going to be using tonight for multiplayer. So I'm going to open up the queue here in a minute. Until then, I'd appreciate it if folks didn't try and snipe spots or anything, because that's not how we roll. I'm going to take a moment in a second here to say hello to you guys and read off your names, because I really appreciate you guys being here. Hello, Uchi. Welcome. There's that. One sec here. Hurriedly grabbed your Switch. Well, it'll be nice to hunt with you. I'm really excited we get to. Q, 1, H, and B. There we go. Okay, so now this should work just fine. There we go. Cool. I think everything's set up. So, Big G Money and Kinku Kink, welcome. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. Hi, Uchi and S-Fox. S-Fox, I'm looking forward to getting to play with you. I know, S-Fox, if you're still working on things in low rank, Radmeal Trance is also working on things in low rank, so we can probably get you all together in a group with whoever else wants to drop down to low rank here. Enjoy your lurk, Uchi. Let's see. Quill and Ninja Frog, thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for coming by. Radmeal Trance, like I said, welcome, welcome. Hello, Digit Artist and Full Metal Dragon. Some call me Rawl. I don't recognize your name, but thanks for being here. I like your name. Shoutouts to the 2 hotspots we just banned. Welcome 9S. Welcome Alpha. Hope I get to play with you too at some point. And I think that's just about everybody. I don't know if I said hi to Biotech. Biotech, hello. Rathahammer? Yeah, we were using it for fun the other day. Hello, Gremlin Kicker. Can we all just appreciate the music in this game? Actually, like the soundtrack more in this game than World and Iceborne. I think it's a personal preference thing, but I really do like the soundtrack in this game a lot. That's something where every time we come back to this game, even though we're playing other Monster Hunter games right now, we come back and we do some multiplayer. I really appreciate getting to hear some of these awesome tracks. That's just fine, Radmeal. We'll do whatever's at your level. Did I ever purchase all the DLC music? I bought every last bit of that DLC. I am a whale. And it's slightly problematic, but not too. Watched you a while ago, but stopped watching Twitch altogether for like 4 months. That's fair. Life comes and goes with like opportunities to watch Twitch, so I get you some Call Me Raw. Welcome back. Okay. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and open the queue, which means that if you'd like to play multiplayer tonight, just go ahead and type !join. That's going to put you into a queue. We're going to go in groups of 3 people at a time, because that's how much room we've got in the hub. Join, unjoin. I think it's !leave if you need to leave later on. Although you didn't even join to begin with. Each group is going to get a hunt, and then a rampage or a second hunt of their choice. And we'll go on through. Hello, Mr. Fowlison. How are you tonight? So, it looks like the first group is going to be Alpha, S-Fox, and Some Call Me Rawl. Then Radmeal Trance, Gremlin Kicker, and FPS Failure. So, Alpha, S-Fox, and Some Call Me Rawl. Oops, that's the wrong button. My bad. The hub information is on the screen. I think because S-Fox is here, I think S-Fox is still doing low rank hub, so this is going to be a low rank group of folks. We're gonna do some low rank quests, and it would be appreciated if you drop down to low rank gear. The lobby information is now on the screen. If you don't want to do that, if you are dead set on doing some endgame or high rank stuff, then just we'll bump you down later into the queue, and you'll be okay. You're actually already at HR6? Oh, never mind then, S-Fox. We can do whatever you want. I apologize. That'll be our next group then. Our next group with Radmeal, Trance, Gremlin, Clicker, and FPS Failure will be low rank. Never mind. False alarm, Alpha. False alarm, some call me Raw. S-Fox is a speed demon. I apologize, S-Fox. I was thinking back to a week or two ago when we needed to do that, but apparently now we don't. What do I want to play? I know last time we were playing through most of the weapons. What did I play through last time? Last time, I think I got through all the Blade Master weapons, but didn't get to go... I think I missed out on Insect Wave, and then Light Bowgun, Heavy Bowgun, and Bow, so we'll make sure to do those tonight. I don't care what we hunt pretty much at all, so you guys are free to post whatever you'd like. What we try and do is we try and do a single quest, and then we'll do either a rampage or another quest, so feel free and post what you guys would like to do. I like doing rampages in groups, both because the mats are really good for melding and just because it's kind of fun. I feel like in groups, especially coordinated groups where we're all like on a stream together and we can talk in chat or I can talk to you guys over voice, it's easy to get a lot of the objectives done in a fun way. So I like that. There, brace jewel. What the heck, we'll put in some more defense jewels too. Pick whatever, you're just here to play Rise once in a while so you don't completely lose touch. That's kind of what I'm up to as well, Alpha. I think this is good, it keeps me in shape in terms of I don't completely forget how it feels to play this game. Okay. Well, welcome Rawl, welcome Epsilon, welcome S-Fox. What are we hunting? A hunt today keeps the Kezu at bay. As an ogre and a Mizutsune. Nice. Learn the longsword. Envy my fashion? Thanks. This black hoodie sure is cool. No, I know you mean the Bizarrio set. I like the Bizarrio stuff. Combined with Scalda, I think it looks okay. Let me eat. Hello, Harurush. Did they just forget about this game? Where's the content, man? Monster Hunter isn't always a game that keeps adding content, unfortunately. I think this game's probably done until we get an expansion to it, personally, but they might be doing other updates for it. Oh yeah, Holy Nolan, I think I forgot to say hello to you, and thank you for the follow. Thanks for the follow. Do you think it's the difference between the handheld and the main console titles? I don't know if they think about it like that. Maybe. They might think about it like that, but I mean, like, this game's coming to PC. And even if it is on a handheld console, they still released it with graphical, or with like, maps and monsters. They're the same as, like, a console title, or a main console title. I do think that if they had 3 title updates worth of stuff, it would have probably gone over better with folks if they'd done 3 title updates over the course of a summer instead of over the first 2 or like 3 months there. But, yeah. All right. Off we go. Is an ogre and a Mizu. I bet we will. Actually, you know what? Hang on, sorry. I'm gonna drop down to a slightly earlier set. What was my good set before this? Is this it? No. What was this one? Oh, did you leave? I'm sorry, I dipped out right before then. I guess I'd appreciate it if you came back, but if you can't manage to come back for me, that's okay. You can just go hunt if you want. That was my fault, I think. Sorry for dipping out of there by accident. Wasn't on purpose. Apologies, friends. I wanted to gear down a little bit. Okay. I'm sorry about that, you guys. Some host I am. That thankfully does not count towards our quest total that we're going to be doing together. Honestly wonder how people survived in the earlier days of Monster Hunter where additional content wasn't a thing. I mean, you just found stuff to do. Like, when you think about Monster Hunter Tri, I mean, that came out like a decade ago now, so it's old, but that game had 17 monsters. That's it. And like, there's a cool online hub where you can go and hunt with people, but you just found stuff to do. What are you talking about, Uchi? Lack of content. Now there's a chore for you. That's true. Some of the older games, their style of content was just like, here's this crazy grind. Can a person join rampages if they haven't done one in hub? I think so, Radmail. I was curious to see about that. I would love to get to do your first rampage in the hub together, if we're able to. Forgot to leave your buddies, you're bad. You can still do it at the camp if you want to, but it's not that big a deal. For You just set the bar way too high. That's fair. For You was technically the first game to ever unlock new monsters via event quests or DLC. So it does feel a little different like that. Man, after playing For You for a night last night, it feels pretty weird to me. Playing this game on a giant screen. Ow. Dose and G did too? Did they really? Unlock monsters via DLC? Like event quests? I was under the presumption that like For You was kind of unique in that way. Alpha's busy typing. Rip. Here, hang on, I'll get some heals. Fatalities and subs were unlocked via events? Now, were they events that like cycled in from time to time? A la Gen Moran Day on Tri? Or were they events where like at a certain point Capcom unlocked them on the server? Because I think those are different. I think those are two very different things. Because I mean like, things having like certain days they're available is very different from them just not being available until Capcom says, okay, now you can hunt these monsters. It took several months for them to be available in rotation. Okay, but that's functionally the same. I didn't know that. I would love to see references for that. Like, not that I don't believe you, I'd like to read up on how it was. Have anybody I know, Alpha pretty much knows the most about some of those old games. Spent the most time playing them thoroughly recently. Dun, dun. Also, hi Nefudis. Yeah, I think that's the one thing that sticks out to me the most about how Rise's content went down is, like, if they had... I think the number of monsters there in the game is quite respectable right now for a high-ranked game. I've actually never seen this before. It was cool how Mizu wrapped around him. They just didn't space it out very much. Whoops. Whoops. Yep, Molten is indeed exclusive to 4U. Yeah. I guess I just think that's a bummer FPS. I think that's more of a mindset issue with, like, folks just wanting strong gear than the game's issue, really, if I'm honest. I think I prefer a game where there's just lots of varied hunts to do and you have to kind of decide for yourself what you want to get out of them, as opposed to a game where it's like, oh man, you gotta do all these fights in this sequence so you can get the strongest gear this quick in this order. Like, I don't know. There needs to be something there in terms of rewards. Like, I think the Apex not having anything is a bummer, but I'm glad the gear is just kind of like, I don't know. The gear is just pretty good and strong across the board, and you can choose to fight a lot of monsters and grind up gear or not. To me, that's a pretty okay way to structure a game. So anybody who's having like an intense debate in the chat about rare species versus variants, even Capcom doesn't know exactly what that means, so neither will you probably. So I wouldn't worry about it if I were y'all. Why don't they know? I don't know, Uchi, you tell me. They've like changed the definitions halfway through several times. They have pretty defined rules for each of those categories. I guess they do now. To me, it feels like they've just tacked on definitions as they wanted through the series to fit however they're feeling at the time. I don't think it's really supposed to be like, I don't know. I just think it's pretty silly to argue over the differences when the differences are pretty slight between those different categories. Capcom decided to call these ones one and these ones the other. I don't know. You can think less of me if you want, but I will like unabashedly get those definitions wrong over and over and not feel bad. Whoops, forgot he did 3. This area is very rough. Nice S-Fox. Aw. Bummer. I got you, Ichi. I guess I'm just tired of people being... I don't know. I don't particularly appreciate people going out of their way to correct each other about that in the chat. Maybe I should chill about that. I don't know, but it feels like it comes up every once in a while along with the whole, like, skeletons versus classifications versus guild rarity versus... I don't know. People like to argue a lot about that sort of stuff. It's like the flagship monster thing. Ultimately, it really doesn't matter, even if I like calling Garuga a flagship. Kinsek KO. Cheers, 9S. Not angry, spiteful. Okay, I got you. I think honestly, I was probably conflating some of this discussion with some of the discussions folks have had before about monster classifications and that kind of thing. So I apologize. Tail. Zogre's so fun in this game. He is. Point was that GU doesn't have subspecies, so nothing that can be called that. I gotcha. I don't know. I feel like... I think how I feel about that stuff is that I guess there's nothing wrong with being correct about that and explaining how you understand it and how you think the devs have it structured. I think the devs move the goalposts in terms of like what makes each of those categories a thing, and they keep changing it as time goes by. Maybe they've settled on defined things now and it won't happen as much anymore, but it just feels like across the games it feels pretty different to me. And so it feels kind of silly arguing that like there's a set of predefined rules to any particular category of monster like that. Yeah, me too, Ninja Frog. If there was a subspecies you could make for Chameleos, what element would it use, or what would it do? I feel like I would want it to become part of the terrain. You'd love to have a civilized conversation with me about how I'm wrong. That's okay. I think I'm doing a particularly poor job of holding this conversation, so I apologize for it. That comment was tongue-in-cheek. Oh, okay. I still feel like I'm doing a pretty poor job of holding that conversation, so I apologize. I wouldn't really take anything I said there with a huge amount of weight to it. I was trying... I do genuinely kind of, like, not appreciate sometimes when folks are overly pedantic about that sort of stuff, because it's like, the devs change things as they go along in a way that makes it kind of silly to argue about. So I get a little bit peeved sometimes when people argue about it, too. But I think I'm doing a poor job of expressing how I actually think some of the classification stuff is silly, so... Oh well. Hey, IRB, good job. Nice hunt, folks. Oh no! What happened? Something bad. We just got to Mizu. About time. Were you just sitting there? What happened? Or were you just not healing or something? I'm confused. Stun? Oh, okay. That's fair. That's fair, Uchi. I think for me, the hard part about like biology or Monster Hunter ecology discussion is like so much of it is up to like personal interpretation and personal canon, which is cool, but you can't talk about it in the same way that you talk about game mechanics that just are, and folks sometimes try to. We can talk about what's confirmed. Sometimes there's a contention over like what is actually confirmed like that. People just don't know where to draw the line. They don't, you're correct. I guess, I don't know. I don't want to give the impression I don't want to talk about that stuff. I do like learning about that stuff sometimes. I do think it's kind of hard for folks to draw the line between like, this would be cool, this is cool, I saw someone say this once, this is in an art book, this is in a developer diary, like, etc. Yeah, I can tell them they're not, because I just read it in Monster Hunter Freedom, Uchi. It says he's a Kutku. In the Hunter's Notes, in that game. And I'll bet you they've changed that definition since then, because they don't know! Freedom literally says it is a Kutkuruchi. It's interesting. I was kind of surprised to see it say it so plainly. Wow, that Mizu was squishy as heck. Nice job. Good hunt, folks. Sorry if I was distracted for some of it. I'm excited to see what the patterns will be like in Master Rank, or whatever they call it, Patty Man. I'm really excited about it. You can only point out localization. That's fair. We need an impartial Japanese translator to help us in our lore discussions. They are calling water shots ice shots. Yeah, maybe they put Yan Kutku there when they meant to put Rathian there. It's a Rathian. Nice hunt, you guys. Yeah, I think that's the reason that sometimes I'm a little bit like cagey about people getting real particular about the lore side of things, whether it's classifications or I don't know, just all kinds of stuff. I'm kind of like, let's just chill. No, there's an Ogre Jasper. Thank you, game. But I think, I don't know, like tonight I probably bristled a little too quickly at that, even though it was folks just discussing subspecies and rarities, and or rare species and variants. Okay, what would you guys like to do for the second hunt? I really like getting to do rampages in multiplayer. We don't have to do any of the crazy ones with S-Fox. If you don't want to. Is there like a queue, or are you just taking new people whenever there's a new group? There is a queue, Crimson Gunner. So how this works is right now, here, hang on, here's the queue. You can see we have folks' names. I'm gonna go ahead and remove Alpha's name because they're in the hunt with us right now. Same with S-Fox, and same with Some Call Me Rawl. So that means the next 3 people are gonna be Radmeal, Trance, Gremlin Kicker, and FPS Failure. To join this queue, you type !join, puts you in. We're doing about 2 hunts per group, and then we're cycling out. And then Once everybody who wants to join has joined, we'll start doing secondary runs for folks if they want to. It's a nice system. I'm pretty pleased with it. Good with the rampage? Bishatan. Cool. Let me grab some stuff. What are the quest goals for this rampage? Let's see. Oh, I have to take the quest first. Your take is, even when people are wrong, Monster Bio is still more fun than talking about Clutch Claw. I'm so glad we don't talk about Clutch Claw every damn day anymore. Thanks for clarifying, wasn't sure. Yeah, there you go. There's the breakdown of the multiplayer. Okay, let's see. Inflict an elemental blight, stun a monster, gather drop materials, set up hunting installations, and repel using bamboo bomb. These are all pretty easy to do regardless of weapon type, so I don't really feel like I need to bring a specific build. These are all kind of based around installations. What's my favorite Monster Hunter in terms of enjoyment and fun? Holy Nolan, I get asked that semi-frequently. I don't really have a favorite, per se. I have a lot that I really like. I think that different ones have different appeals. At least that's how I kind of feel about it. It's like different ones have different things they're really good for. Like right now, we're playing through Monster Hunter Freedom, and if I'm honest, there's some things about the newer games like Rise and 4 Ultimate that I really miss when I'm playing that game. But at the same time, when I'm playing some of these new games, I'm also kind of missing stuff in the old games too. Like I missed some things from Free Night when I'm playing some of the newer entries as well. It's interesting. I think some sweet spots for me personally are Portable Third and probably 4 Ultimate. Portable Third is probably the game I would pick if I had to get confined to one Monster Hunter game for the rest of time. I'd probably play a lot of Portable Third. I think it's a really nice balance of things, and I like how small and concise it is as a game. You and your cousin's biggest gripe is how they hold your hand too much in the newer games. It's hard to argue with that. And some folks will like that, and some folks won't. Oh my goodness, menus. How do you sort? There. Play Monster Hunter for the customization, fashion, and the layered armor and weapons, along with mod support, makes it most fashionable. That's cheer. That makes sense. That's cheers. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. That's cheers. I think I'm doing a poor job of holding conversations tonight. So if I'm a little bit slow, or if some of my statements don't make, or like some of the things I say don't make a lot of sense, I apologize. I have nights like that. I think multiplayer nights in general, I find kind of overwhelming from time to time. I don't know why, I just do, but still fun. Recently got For You brand new for 25 bucks. Nice, I hope you enjoy it. Okay. Thanks for waiting for me. Rawl just fell down dead waiting for us. Sorry, Rawl. Usually as we go on through the multiplayer night, I'm able to feel a little bit more at ease. So, I bet that will happen tonight. Plus, if you're struggling to hold a conversation, there's a... Oh, I just took all the supplies. I'm sorry. No. No. Here, take. God damn it. Oh dear. Alright. We're gonna focus on stunning monsters for this first round. You didn't see. It's okay. What I was going to say, this is now somewhat ironic, is I was going to say, if you needed to pick a loadout to not have to think about much while you were trying to hold a conversation, a rapid pierce bowgun loadout is pretty good. That's now pretty ironic because I accidentally took materials from somebody else. Absent-mindedly while using this set, but must go switch to a wide range set. I wish I had one. I got you, Big G. When it gets crowded, you get lost in the crowd. That's something I'm kind of worried about over time. Is like, I don't know. I'm worried about over time being able to hold conversations with folks well as more people hang out at the stream slowly. Hey, we have cannons. I'm gonna go for stuns this first round. I don't even think I have any wide range pieces, Hyper Ray. I guess so, Big G. It's less of me lamenting how it is and more just me kind of going, I wonder how this is going to feel as we keep going. I want to try and pay attention to it and be, I don't know, I want to be thoughtful about it, mindful of it as we go, so I can try and keep fostering decent conversations with folks, all kinds of folks. Oh, there are the elemental blights and stuns coming along. Gather drop materials too. Gecko. Have the urge to be on top of an active chat and be playing well even if you can't. Yeah. Well, thanks. I'm not trying to fish for compliments about how the chat is, I promise. I don't know. I want to be honest about that. Is like, that's something that scares me about slowly having more folks hang out here in chat, is like still being able to interact with folks with a level of quality that I would consider okay. Rise didn't really need layered weapons because they only designed with bits and sticks for the monsters introduced in the world. I gotcha. I think it'll be interesting to see if layered weapons becomes a regular feature in the games, or if it really was just something emblematic of how they weren't happy with a lot of the weapon designs in that game. I guess I've had pretty long conversations about how I think that transmog in general, while opening up the games in terms of how some people really like it, actively makes some of the aspects of how the games were really rewarding before more shallow. So I think if it were my personal ideal Monster Hunter game, it wouldn't have transmog in it, but that's just me. And I'll never be here sitting around going, if only they hadn't added layered armor, then Rise would be a good game. Like I won't be here sitting here saying that. I think I just hope that there's a appropriate amount of weight attached to things like layered armor and weapons so that they're still satisfying in one way or another to obtain. Okay. Alright, there's the stuns. For a second, Crimson, I was like, no, they misunderstood me. I wasn't trying to say that. Gather drop materials, folks. Now, how do you get these bamboo bomb repels? I think Transmog, where you actually had to craft the armor and meld it, was the best system because it was still a grind to make your fashion pieces, and putting an effort to make gear is the Monster Hunter experience in a nutshell. I think it's interesting hearing your opinion on it because you said that was one of the primary draws to the series for you. So I imagine that, like, for you, you probably have some pretty intense feelings over how it is or isn't included in multiple games. I don't think Rise does a bad job at it. And, like, I don't get me wrong, I like being able to make sets like this. Like, this is a fashion set that probably wouldn't exist for a gunner, right? I would never be wearing the Bizarrio's helm as a Pierce gunner. But at the same time, I feel like I had a moment maybe 50 hours to 100 hours into Rise or something like that where I had to kind of go, you know what? I'm never going to enjoy this game's set building quite as much as mixed sets where I was making fashion mixed sets because there was no transmog. Because that's like that is the most satisfying thing to me in the series, just about. Or at least the most satisfying thing in terms of gear in the whole series is making a mixed set where, like, you get the skills you want and it looks how you want. It's so satisfying. But that doesn't mean I dislike this game and its set building. It's just kind of like I have to kind of settle or just decide to enjoy different parts instead of going, oh, I can still enjoy the exact same thing I did in these older games. Why don't you still do that? I could. Oh, I should get ready. I'm sorry. I don't know, Uchi. Yeah, it's just kind of like, it's kind of like an artificial difficulty thing where I guess I don't really have a problem with, like, setting artificial difficulty up for myself in a lot of contexts. It's like I make a lot of weird challenges all the time based on ignoring parts of the game or choosing some parts of the game to use and some not. But yeah, the feeling of just going, there's layered armor I could be using, or like, I could get this to look a little different, or this could look exactly how I want it with layered armor. It's like a mental thing. It's weird. Can't really explain that. Yeah, I'm not sure how we're gonna get this bamboo bomb repel. Oh well, we'll still get an S+, I think. I guess for what it's worth, I enjoyed the part of the game earlier on where I could only, I guess you unlock layered armor and Rise early into high rank, and I did enjoy before then making mix sets a la the older games. I still had fun with it. And kind of experimenting with the few layered pieces I had from some of the pre-order stuff. It still felt fun to me. I don't know. I think part of it is just, I think getting a mix set like that, that's like a combo mixed fashion set, will never quite be as satisfying without the 10-point skill system. I think it's all kind of holistically tied into that experience for me. Where, like, getting the mixture of skills to add up and the pieces you like, there's just nothing quite so satisfying. And knowing that, like, because you chose certain pieces like that, yours is probably the only set that looks like that, I don't know. I think I'm kind of weird for that opinion. Hello, fish. Kind of like how Radmill's saying that was one of the things that really got them into the series was fashion and transmog. Mix sets and, like, making sort of fashion-y mix sets that also had the skills you wanted on them was basically what got me to start playing the series seriously. I don't know why, but that's what drew me into the series. There's a bunch of weird old fashion mix sets in my first Monster Hunter file. I think bad fashion's also hilarious. It can be, can't it? Whoop! Nice flash. Oof. Looks like I'm piled on there by a bunch of monsters. You were a mob? Yeah, it looks like it. I just saw your corpse just covered up by monsters. There you go. Nice rampage, folks. GG's indeed. I think maybe you might have posted pictures of them in the Discord at one point, Big G. I have a vague recollection. Okay, I feel like I'm getting a little better at carrying conversation and hunting. You know, it's kind of a silly thing to bring up on stream, but I don't know. There's some nights where I feel like I do an okay job of conversation. There are other nights where I feel like I do like a bad job of conversation. Tonight I'm starting off feeling kind of flustered, which just happens. I like your Damascus roll. Something you never see folks use in these games is the makeup options. I think that's changing with World and Rise, which makes me happy. The character creators in World and Rise are so good. S rank. Nice. Helper rewards. Lazurite, Bishaten, and Bishaten Feather. Nice. Monster Hunter Rise versus God Eater 3. I don't really know much about God Eater 3, Rio. I know it's another hunting game where you kind of like take on monsters, but every time I've seen footage of God Eater, it looks like it's a little bit more systems driven than Monster Hunter, maybe? A little bit more anime if you're into that. Which is kind of hard to do, and Rise is pretty anime, but that's my impressions of it. It's got a different setting. It's more cyber-y and like future-y, so if you're into that, check it out. At least that's my impression of it. Hello, Lazy Potato. All right. Rawl, Alpha, S-Fox, it was fun to hunt with you guys. I'm gonna have you guys cycle out. Let me go ahead and give you my gold card. Oh, or not. That's okay. The next three are gonna be Radmeal, Trance, Gremlin Kicker, and FPS Failure, and I'm pretty sure that this hub is where we're gonna be doing some low rank gear. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop down to a low rank Blade Master set. It's okay, Rawl, you're all good. The hub is up on the screen right now. So Radmeal, Gremlin Kicker, and FPS, you're welcome to join in. Hello, Radmeal. Hello, FPS. I'm assuming that the Japanese name there is Gremlin Kicker. Okay, low rank, huh? Radmeal, feel free and post whatever you'd like. If you have any quests in the hub you'd like to do, or if there's a specific quest, like if there's a specific low rank monster you'd like us to hunt, let me know and I'll post it for you, even if you don't have the hub quest unlocked for that. Gossarag, I can definitely post low rank Gossarag for you. Hell yeah, HR1. Radmeal said they just got the game today. What FPS say they were going to use? You built a rapid morph poison set and you're going to use it. Oh? This seems fine. Not low rank, but that's fine. Try and, yeah, I guess that weapon's pretty weak, so I'm not too worried about it. You seem to understand the sentiment that we're going for with the low rank here. That's what matters. Everything's low rank but the helmet? Really? Nice. I didn't even realize. Oops. Cheater. I'm gonna use a charm that I probably didn't get in low rank. Radmeal, I like your initial fashion. When you mix it, it's kind of eh. Let me take a look. I want to see it. Attack, crit eye, constitution. Those are about as decent as you can get early on in the game for Lance. I don't blame you. Thank you, Gremlin Kicker. Cheers. All right. The Blizzard Blender. Using a low rank charm too. Nice. Thank you, Fish. FPS. Excuse me. How dare I? I hate when I mix people's names up. Yep, we can do this. We can do a low rank rampage. We'll have a good time. Okay. Is that how you SAD safely? Hmm. All right, let me update the list here. Okay. The queue should now be an accurate reflection of how many people are in line. Okay, I didn't take all the gear. We're good. Let's go get that Goss. Excuse me. Radmeal, is Lance your normal weapon of choice, or did you pick that specifically for this game? I'm curious about it. You know, I was just watching Diega doing a run on Rathian with Charge Blade in this game, and it made me want to play more Charge Blade in this game. I still want to play this game quite a bit. I'm not done with it. Lance and Gun Lance, gotcha. Neat. Shielded main, huh? Gossarag! So hype. You're going back and forth between Rise and Gen U. Makes sense. I got sucked in. Ah! Oh gosh, forgot about that. Went back to Rise because you want to hammer Crimson Vow, and that's about it. Well, I hope you have fun when you do it, Game God. I think Crimson Valstrax is one of the best fights in this game. Nice. We're bullying this thing. Poor Goss. Wish his name was Boss Harag, like he's a mobster or something. That'd be funny. This is your favorite monster in Rise? Goss is pretty cool. I would love to see what like a Goss variant or rare species or whatever is called. Or is not just called, it's called. I would like to see what it would be like. Some kind of like gnarly volcanic Gossarag or desert Gossarag. One that just pulls out actual rocks and just has like swarms of sand around it. Sand cloak Goss or something, I don't know. You get a derby hat and cigar? Oh yeah. What about green Nargauchi? Not as a rule. Oh, okay. Whoops. Oh, darn. Bummer. Oh jeez, whoops. I have barely fought Silverwind and I've never fought Lucent, so I don't really have anything to contribute to that discussion, unfortunately. No! Are you Sacred Slash or Helmbreaker? I have Sacred Slash on right now. I don't particularly like Helmbreaker very much. So how I should be dealing a lot of my damage is getting up to red using Sakura or EI, and then using Serene Pose, or whatever it's called in this game, a counter, to get some good counter damage on one of its larger hits, but I've failed to hit my counters so far, which is a bummer. Oh, I think I hit the counter, but maybe got hit by him afterwards. So here's how I should be dealing a lot of my damage. Well, once he attacks me. I'm sorry, Uchi. There we go. Nope, too early. That move is so brutal. Went for something dumb, that's okay. I like going for dumb things too. Radmu, I'd love to hear your impressions of Lance in this game. Oh gosh, hello Varian. Love to hear your impressions of Lance in this game and how you like the charged slap. Obviously when we're not playing here. You just wanted to give you an epic burn with Green Arc and leave it that. I just think that trying to like actually categorize the three is like next to impossible because they're all made up categories that got changed or like kind of defined randomly as they went. To me, it's like subspecies are sort of like common environmental differences between the three. Where like, oh, this is a different Narga from a different region, so it's green, or like, whatever. Variants are like, oh, this is like a weird offshoot. Like this one actually has visibly different, like very different mechanics and features. And the rare species are like, this is weird and old and epic, and it's almost an Elder Dragon version of your otherwise fight. And like that's the spirit of it, but that's my personal interpretation because they haven't given us definitions that really say those things. Good hunt, folks. And like those are not that dissimilar, like those really aren't all that dissimilar in terms of definitions. It's like, oh, this one's from a different environment. This one just happens to have these other traits that doesn't normally have. Maybe they're from an environment, maybe not. This one's really old. It's like, those are not very different causation of like, oh, this is your different thing. Which is why I think it's really silly when folks are like, well, this one is really old and it fought a hunter that chopped off its ear. This one is from a different place, but it's not really old. And this one's just a weirdo. Like, it's just kind of silly. Didn't realize you missed Rise Insect Wave so much. It's a good version of Insect Wave. Hello, Balbizu. Welcome. Can't wait to do challenge runs in this game, like no hit, all red gauge, longsword, Zinogre run. That sounds awesome, S-Fox. Please do. friend points. Lance is incredible in this game. I like it too. How do you feel about, like, the charged sweep has been somewhat contentious for fans of Lance. I think it's all right. I don't mind it. I think your damage combo featuring it pretty heavily feels kind of eh. I kind of just like throwing it in when I have a slightly larger opening or when I know that my poke will otherwise miss. But I'm curious about how you feel about it. Ghidorah, thanks for the follow. Hi. You feel like the different information throughout the games might be intentional, either that or Capcom's just lazy? I don't think they're lazy. I just think like throughout the series, they've had different amounts of effort to put into lore and like world building. And so that shows out like that. Why do you have so many on your wish list? We've collected a lot of gear in this game. Let's see. Where do you see that in this? Sell equipment? Yeah. We've made a lot of gear in this game, and we're still collecting more. The stuff on the wish list isn't always actually able to be finished, even if it says it is. Okay, rampages. Radmeal, would you like to do as an ogre, a Tigrex, or a Great Izuchi? Any of them are acceptable. If you haven't fought some of these guys, then let's just go with the Izuchi. Like the sweep quite a bit. Neat, I like it too. Lance Sweep is only usable with Focus IMO. Focus does almost nothing in this game. If you compare the timings of it, it does next to nothing for absolutely every weapon class. Bow, greatsword, longsword, like just across the board, Focus does almost nothing. It's expensive too. All right, what are the objectives for this Rampage quest? Repel using a weapon, inflict a status ailment, stun a monster, repel using machine cannon, repel using wyvern fire artillery. While you wouldn't say that's a good reason, the subspecies that don't make sense when we're first and second time monsters, when the reasoning didn't matter quite as much, Green Narga is a third generation monster. What about Green Narga? It's a subspecies that's barely different and doesn't make much sense. Think y'all are crazy because you notice a difference. I mean, if you look on YouTube, there's a video showing the charge difference between the different levels, and it's really bad. It's really not much of a change. I mean, like, there is a change. It works. It's not like it's non-functional, but it's so little. To each their own. I mean, like, if that's what makes it comfortable, or if that enables this kind of play that you really enjoy, rock it. Whatever. I used Focus for a while on a couple different weapons, on Hammer and Greatsword, and then switched off, and I was like, oh, yeah, it didn't do much, did it? I get what you mean though about some of the old, like the older subspecies being the ones that don't fit into the modern definitions. But from a biological standpoint, it evolved to be green and blend in. But like regular Narga fights in the same area. I don't know. We should probably add Omega Lol at some point, shouldn't we? What's the reasoning for Green Narga in-game? There is none. At least not that I know of. I'd have to do research about it that I haven't done before. Aha! Get to see the Rampage cutscene. Green Narga photosynthesizes. I appreciate that lore. I think we'll go with that. Green Narga is actually a plant. Hello, Rathalos. Alright, I'm gonna try really hard to get some poisons. You got poison CB. We good? Wait. What were you asking if... Wait. I was just reading something in chat, Uchi. What'd you think I said? Hope you're enjoying Rise so far. Been a while since you've dropped in. Yeah, we're actually... Rise isn't our main game right now. Our main game is Monster Hunter Freedom for the PSP. We've been doing weekly Rise multiplayer nights, though, just to keep playing the game some more and enjoy hanging out with folks. I like the game quite a bit. I'm really happy with Rise overall. What did I say that you thought? What did you say? Wait, what did I say, Uchi, that you were wondering about? The photosynthesizes thing? That's just something Rathalos said in chat. That'd be way cooler than any... Like that would be a cooler idea than anything that actually has to do with Green Narga. You were talking about Narga being in the same area, but that doesn't exclude it from being a subspecies. I mean, it is in the same area as regular Narga. You fight Narga Kuga in the Flood Forest, and then you fight Green Narga in the Flood Forest. I don't know. I think that's kind of cutting to the root of what bothers me about folks being really particular about that stuff is like, it's really hard to make rules that actually make sense for the entire series. And I get that because the series has changed over time and the developers have put more or less effort into world building and stuff over time. You were just saying that the older subspecies are ones that like made less sense, and I think Green Narga doesn't make much sense either. Like, what's its deal? I don't know. I got you, Uchi. Nice gun lance, Radmail. I'm not just trying to, like, Uchi, I'm not trying to go out of my way to, like, dump on your idea of lore specifically. I think it's just, like, to me, the whole expanse of, like, Monster Hunter lore and Monster Hunter world building feels so held together with, like, string of rubber bands that it just bothers me when folks try and piece it together. I think it kind of bothers me a little bit when folks try and piece it together more securely. Because in my eyes, there's like, outside of the developers kind of overhauling things in a way that makes everything more cohesive, I don't think there'll ever be a way where you can cleanly say, ah yes, here are the rules for subspecies, variants, and like deviants and whatever. And like some folks are able to have a conversation about it and be like, this is my personal canon for it, and other people aren't. Do you think I misunderstand the intent behind the design? How so? Like, I understand that, like, this Narga is just one that's green, but I don't know. If they never actually say much about why it's green, like, how do we know why it's green? Where does it say in the games, ah, yes, this one evolved for camouflage, or is that just something we're interpreting? Why is Azurathilus blue? To be more like the sky? Is that it? Like, I don't... Yeah. I got you, Uchi. I would too. I've had some good... we've had some good chats outside of chat before. Pull me aside sometime soon, I'd like to. And like, I'm not saying this to say that those different systems are bad either. Like, I like the rare species. I like the variants. I like subspecies. They're fun. It's fun getting to fight a monster that has a different twist on a regular monster's moveset, or exists in a different difficulty rung than the initial monster is. I think it's a really nice way of offering something with familiarity, but like a different kind of challenge, or plays with your expectations for that. It's super fun. It's just like, it bothers me when people try and codify those things with rules, because it's just like, those rules just don't exist, dude. They just don't. Whoops. Cool, those do proc status, that's nice. Is Band Lagiacrus lore canon? I don't know. I think that person does a better job than most of actually researching stuff, but I've heard people also take issue with their findings sometimes too. I think he does better research than anybody else really when it comes to that kind of stuff. I've heard folks meme on him to the point where like I trust what he says most of the time on Twitter, but I mean, like, it's still someone trying to piece together, like, 10 to 15 years of disparate references and justifications for monster designs. So, like, that interpretation, even if, like, all the things that he pieces together for things are canon, it's like, the interpretation is still kind of personal, isn't it? Yep, same Uchi. Need those status elements, man. Got it. We're good. Okay, looks like those two have machine cannons going. So I won't take one down. Whoops. No! Wait, no, we got the repel with it. We're good. Okay, we really got those machine cannon repels right now. Machine cannon repels are the most important thing at the moment. Who else thinks we should get more new monster redesigns? What do you mean by new monster redesign? Nice job. What do you mean by new monster redesign? Nice, we got all the objectives done. Good job, folks. Oh, okay. Wasn't a big fan of Anjanath, but Fulgur Anjanath was awesome looking. So, not just new monsters. Oh, you mean like subspecies of newer monsters. I would love that. Like I was saying earlier, I would love a Gossarag subspecies. I think it'd be really cool. Oh geez, hello. There it is, nice rampage, folks. All the goals done. Props to the folks for getting those stuns and machine cannon repels. We'd love to see something like Lao reimagined for Rampage and Rise Chi. It's a nice idea. A big siege monster with a rampage bent on it. Nice hunt, folks. Even Nakarkos, you just want to fight something huge? Me too. You were FPS, thank you. S+, good job. It's tough to get that in 2 waves. Please give guild cards. Okay. The floating squid, Yamatsukami. There we go. Good hunts, folks. All right, once those guild cards come in proper. Would appreciate if y'all would cycle out. It was nice hunting with you, FPS. Rad meal. And Gremlin Kicker. Our next group of folks is going to be Churrito SSB, Crimson Gunner, and Ninja Frog. And the hub is going to be up on the screen right now. Still waiting. Takes forever for some reason, maybe because I sent it with the photo. Cool photo, Gremlin Kicker. 500 hunts of Insect Glaive. It's pretty impressive. $566 hours too. Centuries 2, cheers. Like I said, Churrito, Crimson Gunner, and Ninja Frog, feel free and jump in. Who's Raka? Is Raka Crimson Gunner or Churrito? I forget. I guess no, Churro would be Churrito. Duh. So it's either Raka as you? Okay, thanks, Crimson Gunner. I apologize for not remembering. It's hard to keep people's names straight sometimes. Oh, and we can switch back to high rank gear now. Welcome, folks. Feel free and post whatever you guys would like. I'm gonna go ahead and update the list here. Good guess, Churrito. Good guess. Hey, Cursed Blessing, welcome. How you doing tonight? Apex blows, huh? Sent your card to everyone? Cheers. Let me go ahead and do that now. Let's actually look up Apex blows' hit zones. Thanks for the hunts. Cheers, Radmeal. It was fun to hunt with you. I can't wait to see what you think of Rise. Please continue to tell us what you think as you play through it. It's really refreshing to see observations from folks. And it's nice. I don't know. I feel like fresh observations from folks bring up interesting concepts for us to have discussions about. So if you'd like to share, we'd love to hear any observations you have. All right, shoot the head. That I can do. The Guitar'd Breath of the Wild. Rise is your first game, HR6 only, but really enjoying it. Watching you guys here kicking some butt for some strategy tips. Well, welcome. Thanks for the follow and nice to meet you. If you'd like to jump in and do some hunts, we have a queue going that you can jump into. We're game to do hunts at any part of the game. Like early game, late game, whatever. If there's any questions you have specifically about different mechanics or things in the game, feel free and ask them. A lot of folks here will be happy to answer, myself included. I'm not like an expert on everything, but I can answer some general questions about things for sure. I'll be ready to go in just a moment, guys. Thank you guys for waiting. You have your Switch at the moment. However, I know you mentioned you do these nights occasionally. Would love to jump in next time. We do these about once a week right now. I don't know if we'll always do them that frequently, but probably for the next few weeks still. You can smash a JPEG in the Discord and it's instant. Don't know why Monster Hunter has it so laggy. Who knows? Cheers, Big G. Rest well. Sounds great. It's nice to meet you. Ah. I need to learn to not have a Discord channel in my peripheral vision. Kofifi. Thank you, Rock. I like that. All right, let's see if I can deal with heavy bowline on this guy. Let me throw on counter charger real fast. Might be helpful. Also, hang on, real quick. God darn it, I did it again. I'm sorry. I did it again. I need to stop doing that. I wanted to admire folks' fashion, and I got left behind. I'm sorry. What a sucker. I'm sorry, you guys. Ugh. Can you not join mid-quest? Can you? You probably can, can't you? Oh, well now I'm a double idiot because both times I've made people abandon so that we can leave with me on the quest. I'm sorry. God darn it. That makes me really dumb. I'm really sorry, you guys. I don't play enough multiplayer, I guess. The point of that was so I could look at you guys' fashion, because I saw this one with a mix of like Ludroth and Lagombi and I really liked it. I'm sorry. What poor multiplayer etiquette. I also really like this one. That's like a mix of like Melohoa and Bishatan and Chameleos. It's cool stuff. And then we saw the Slagtoth and Remobra last week. I dig it. I'm really sorry, you guys. I like the stripes on the Remobra gear. When it's not bright yellow, it totally does. When the Ludroth jacket is not bright yellow. Can we try it out so everyone who hasn't would know? Soon. Next quest, I'll let them leave first and I'll join them after the fact. For this one, we should just go. Because I've already made this poor group wait. Cool stuff, Churro. Congratulate the transmog. Thank you for abandoning and letting me look at your transmogs. Feel very silly. Okay. Let's hunt an Apex Diablos. I'm hoping I won't just like instantly triple us. Worked hard on making a transmog that didn't repeat the same armor set. Yeah, you mean one that's just made up of disparate pieces? It's hard to do, isn't it? I don't know if I have any sets that are all different pieces. This fight's pretty scary in multiplayer, I can already tell. Gosh. Thoughts on mantles, gadgets, and world? Personally really like them, especially Ghillie Mantle being very good just for quality of life. I think the ones that actively offer trade-offs are interesting. I think the ones that are just straight buffs or make the game even easier are a bummer. So I don't particularly like Evasion Mantle because there's not much of a trade-off there. I really don't like Temporal that much. The ones that are more environmental or just allow you to do different things, like the Legiana, like Glider Mantle, are kind of neat. I also don't like that they look... I don't like that they cover up your armor, and I really don't like how they look when they run out. It looks like an unfinished texture. Which, like, I get that that's kind of the point, is like you need to take this off, but I don't know. There were a couple things about them that made me not like them too much. I didn't use them that much when I played. Whoops. I guess I should be using normal 3. I'm so used to the old games where you should be using normal 2. Whoops. His time's just barely rocking out the way with heavy bowgun. Isn't counter charger fun? It's okay. Maybe it's not okay. What happened there? Did the Deluxe hit it first? I feel like the Deluxe might have hit it or something weird like that. That's some, or it was a multi-hit hitbox. Yeah, it was just a regular charge, so I would be surprised if it had a multi-hit to it. What did I just craft? Did I just craft Pierce 2? I think I did. Whoops. Never really used Bogan. Are the shots really looks kind of less impactful in Rise? It depends on the build. I think Diablos is a monster that, I mean, this specific Diablos 2 is a monster that doesn't really take a ton of shot type damage, so it's not that good. Heavy Bowgun in general feels a little bit weaker than it should in Rise. I'm using it because I was trying to use all the weapons last multiplayer night. I didn't quite use all of them, so tonight I'm catching up on a few, including Heavy Bowgun and Light Bowgun. Good example is Barrioth Tornado. Bowgun shield blocks all the hits if you block the first one, but if you counter it, it only stops the first hit and you eat the rest of the tornado. That's like a trade-off for a counter. I'm okay with I'm okay with counters having trade-offs. They don't need to be as good as blocking, or blocking doesn't have to be worse than them in every scenario. That was just some jank that just happened to me. I wasn't really sure. Not just that, but the first cart was some jank around the counter that I'm not really sure what happened. If we fail this, I'll go with a Blade Master weapon I can be a little bit more safe with. I was just trying to use all the weapons. I'll feel bad if we fail. It's like some setups with ranged are so busted that it feels like they balanced a lot of the endgame hit zones around that, but then that just makes like anybody who's not running those busted setups have a really bad time. I think is how I feel about it. Yeah, it'd be cool if there were larger hit sparks, I think, as well. Thought you were done with Rise Heavy Bowgun? Certainly done with Rise Heavy Bowgun versus Apex Zin. Oh, jeez. Really rad time. Thanks, EG. Words, what are those? I think it's funny because you do use rad more than the common American. You think so? I don't know. There are certain words like rad and cheers that I just decide to start using more purposefully, and I like them for that. Rad's one of them. Rad and cheers are two that I just think they're cool words. So I'm going to use this. What Heavy Bowgun's that? This is this Nogre Heavy Bowgun. Oh, no. Thank you. Didn't know Zenogre had a Heavy Bowgun? Yep, he does indeed. It looks different across some of the games. In this game, it looks like a motorcycle. Oh no! I'm so terrified of tripling us. Oh god! This is so scuffed. Cut the butt. Okay. The dunk! Cut the butt! Hello, Commander Henkel. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that two of those were my cards. Like I said, I'll go Blade Master. Definitely not good with heavy bowgun, and not good enough with heavy bowgun to take that on in multiplayer. We'll try that again. That thing's crazy. Apparently your internet died, so feel free to go without you. Oh no! I'm sorry, Churro. That's no good. Do you want us to wait for you? Is this something that will come back up quickly or no? I'm sorry. Yeah, I haven't done enough Apex Diablos yet in this game. I've done them a couple times, maybe 2 or 3, but not that many times. If Churro can't come back, then it'll be Fish Kebab's turn to join in. Okay, I'm sorry, Churrito. Let me know if you want to jump in later. And Fish Kebab, you're welcome to join in. Hello, Mad Cow Disorder. Good to see you. How you been? Middle of the hunt? Ah, okay. Well, then we're gonna do, I guess we'll do it triple. That's fine. If anyone else wants to join in. Oh, middle of the hunt will be there? Okay. I think it's okay for us to go out on this one and retry it. Fish can join us when they're done. School's been taking a lot of your time lately. That makes sense. How's it been? Later? Okay, I figured you meant later on. I'm gonna have you guys leave, and I'm gonna join after the fact so we can show how that works for folks. You guys can go ahead. I will see you guys in there. College is okay and all until your campus opens up. Are you worried about that? Makes sense. Look at that fashion. If you're not mistaken, they do have join request from InQuest. I'll check it out. Yeah, I'll let them go first, and then I'll join after the fact. So you guys can go ahead if you guys want to. Mad Cow, if you'd like to jump in now, we have a spot open right now. Here's the info on the screen if you want to jump in. Not a very long queue at the moment. We are doing an Apex Diablos. Oh, I think maybe, is this layered set? What we were just talking about? Yeah, this is a layered set that has all different... Oh, nope, never mind. Hunters and Hunters, although we could easily change out those legs for another fitting one. Pretty close to a completely separate set of pieces that mesh together okay. All right, here's Mad Cow. Nice, welcome, Mad Cow. All right, they left. Huh. Okay, I can join their quest. I think they have to actually have loaded into it, because for a second there, it wouldn't let me there. There. And now I can go on it. Yeah, it seemed like it waited until they actually loaded in, and then it let me join. But there you go. That's how that works. I had never tried that before, but that's pretty easy. I keep forgetting that's the thing. I think there's been a couple times over where I've left on quests without people by accident, and rather than having them join like that, we've started over. All right, see how we do on Mr. Blows here. I like being able to see the little icons of where people are in 3D space. I think it's really cool. This game really is a technical marvel for the Switch. Whoops. I'm coming. Yeah, the dashes aren't that crazy. They're nice in that you get extra hits on the monster. But the main thing is the damage boost, I think. Oops. I wonder how it would look using RE Engine when they finish the PC port. I think we'll hopefully find out soon. Tokyo Game Show is coming up, and you'd hope that they would show us a trailer about Rise PC at some point. It's a huge damage boost, S-Fox, over regular Demon Mode, yeah. Like 20% or something. Which is like a lot. Oops. Huh. Broke my little tether when it started to dig. Oh, man, I feel rusty with dual blades. There's some damage on him. Nice tail cut. I have so much to learn about this monster still. Ow. Down comes the tree. Oh, I guess I didn't bring my first aids, or my dust of lives. That feels bad. It's neat watching somebody play Gunlance. Nice counter. My thing's gonna wake it up, the kunite. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do to delay that. Oh gosh. I almost charged directly into that. He keeps running into things. It's kind of neat that I can disrupt his charges. I like that there's like an environmental way you can position in order to stop his big ultimate charges. It's cool. Oh yeah, the tail. Hello, duckwood quackers. Quack to you. How you doing? How are y'all tonight? Doing good? Nice. What a cool monster. What a cool monster that's just getting bullied. Jack McBride, it's a McRaid. Hello, friends. Hello, McRaiders. How you guys doing? How very hype. Thank you, Jack. How was your stream? A McRaid this is? I see that. It took so long for it to actually hit us. Jack with his first streams? Yeah. They said their first one was last night. Already good at it? Yeah? What'd you guys get up to? I'll have to check out their stream. It's some multiplayer? Nice. That's what we're doing. We're doing tonight. Were you doing more world like last night? Who needs stamina? Not me. Nice job, folks. Did some AT Nerg attempts. Still never done that hunt. Sounds like a scary hunt to do in multiplayer. Thank you, Uchi, for the shout out. Check out our friend Jack McBride if you want to watch someone enjoy World. Mad Cow Disorder, I like your like Ignactor Gladiator looking set. Nice-oo, indeed. Alright, we did the Apex Blow, so it took us a try, but we did it. I like how inky and purple he is. Imagine a high rank monster, then imagine getting almost one shot at 1,000 defense. How do you get 1,000 defense? That's crazy. Did you do the new event quests? We've done a couple of the new event quests. I like that that's the part that stuck out to Riz. I mean, you can get one shot by lots of stuff. 1,000 defense. That's the G rank levels in World for defense. I gotcha. A one shot, I guess, a high rank monster one shotting you in G rank is pretty crazy. All right. Would you guys want? Do you guys want to do a rampage or want to do another regular quest? Up to you guys. I'm down for either. For doing a rampage, can you request Apex Zin? Yeah, I've got one. We can do that. If you guys feel strongly about doing something that's not a rampage, that's fine too. Gotta love friend vouchers, man. Do you use Hunter Connect? Not really, no. I don't play enough multiplayer to use it. Alright. Let's take a look at what this Rampage quest has for us in terms of objectives. Repel using Machine Cannon, gather drop materials, stun monster, repel using Bamboo Bomb, inflict a status ailment. I'm gonna keep my blast set that I've got on right now, and I'll try and inflict some blast. Actually, maybe I'll go over to the Teo Sword and Shield with the same set. Grabbed your wide shelling build for KOs. Nice. I hope you have luck landing a few. They're kind of tough to land sometimes, I think. Back in a sec. Need snack. Nom nom. Cheers, Jack. Thank you for the raid. And I'm glad you. It sounded like you had a good stream, even if you were getting one shot. I figured. Thanks, Ninja Frog. It's fun going for those different objectives, I think. If you're gonna do rampages, you might as well go for them. Off we go. Back with Snack. Welcome back. I was just thanking you for the raid, Jack. I'm glad it sounds like you had a pretty okay stream. Pretty nice stream. Thoughts on your raid message? It's a McRaid. I liked it a lot. It's cute. More fun than what we usually raid with. Well, I'm glad to hear you're having a lot of fun. That makes me happy. A McRaid's okay, but not better than McGriddle. I got to have a McGriddle today, and I was happy about it. It's nice that people here like to hang, but it's also very encouraging that you're already drawing in new people you've never seen before. That is a good sign, Jack. That means that you got something going right. Nice. You got something that people like to watch or hang out with. Repel using Bamboo Bomb. The bots are annoying. Are you having a lot of bots? We had 2 bots pop in at the beginning of the stream, but I've been hearing that some of our friends have been having like crazy bots, like Crystal and Joe. I've had like a lot of bots recently. Banned like 6 or 7. Huh. I wonder why we haven't had that many. It's weird. The Hoss guy? Yeah. I figured. Whoops. Most of the GU streamers yesterday had the bot issue. I wonder if it's like, I wonder if it's a by category issue. Got the best mods around. Who are your mods? If you don't mind my asking. Got status ailments unlocked. Jeez. Cool and Uchi right now. You got some good ones, dude. Uchi, that guy is a Twitch productivity master. Moderator of all the chats. You're good, Uchi. You're allowed to mod whoever you want to mod. It was a bit of a joke, but Quill's actually being quite awesome. I feel like there are loads of people around these parts who'd make excellent mods. Don't think it would be by category because you're streaming Dragon Quest. In a category, you're usually the only one live. Yeah, I've been trying to puzzle it out, Crystal, because I don't understand why I wouldn't have the issues that some other folks have been having with it. You have two answers, one more likely than the other. Yeah, I really can't think of any answers for myself. I mean, we've had a couple, usually like 1 or 2 per day is how many of those hotspots we'll get. But I've seen folks get like 10 or 15, like Josie had a gif of them getting like 10 or 15, and I was surprised about it. Repel Magnamalo, here we go. How's the stream been? Pretty fine. I feel like multiplayer streams more than other streams have a tendency to fluster me a little bit. Kind of take me a second to kind of settle into the groove of the night. And that happened a little bit at the beginning of our stream, but I'm feeling good now. I'm having a good time talking with y'all and playing multiplayer. It's like the extra setup and trying to play with others and not goof it up and also hold conversations is a little bit tough. We should probably go set up the backfield. Actually, wait, no, after this one we should go back set up the backfield. We're fine. But the stream's been good. We've had some fun multiplayer so far. This game is fun to play. Hi, Frenchie. What's up? I think it targets smaller streamers because they're more likely to be oblivious. Small might equal new to the bots, or it goes by categories with small numbers of people streaming, but the latter theory falls apart because you stream Freedom 1, hotspots don't flood. Yeah, I don't really know, Fish. I also don't know what their objective would be of streaming, or of like, especially targeting like people with smaller channels. That doesn't make much sense to me. How y'all doing? We're doing good tonight. Alright, stun's done. This poor Magnamalo, oh my god. We're doing good. I don't know about this repel using bamboo bomb one, but the other ones we should be able to get. Aw, man. Bummer. Couldn't get any of those with the, what's it called? Machine cannon. Gosh darn it. Come on. Give me this. No! People keep stealing my kills. I need this for the objective. There we go. Okay, now I don't care how you kill things. Alright. All we've got left to do is repel using bamboo bombs, which is kind of tough. Oh well. I think having gotten that Magnamalo repel, we should be good now. Ow. Okay, Frenchie. Mad Cow Disorder Frenchie says hello to you. Yeah, there are certain things you just learn to ignore in chat, Fish. That's one of them. Here we go! No! I'd be so lost in Monza's Discord. It's madness. It started out so nice too. What happened to it? Did you get filled with talk about belly buttons? That's what I'm getting so far. You'd rather not get into it? Damn, that bad, huh? That's why I'm careful with our Discord. NSFW? Oh no. Yeah. Oh, I failed the Punisher. Whoops. Whoops, I thought I was playing dual blades for a second. Like, huh, my healing mode's not working. It's because you're playing sword and shield rest. Whoops. The sound, it just gets destroyed. It's awesome. Nice para. Probably sharp in here soon. We staggered him. What a cool monster he is. God, the camera runs out so far for that. Wow, it's actually really hard to get his ogre tail cut in this game, so that's cool. Okay, game. I think harder rampages would be something neat to see them experiment with. Ones where you really have to bring optimal damage, or else you're going to have like it seems like a lot decreased rewards or a higher chance of failing. They get like a repel on the old games where like it's easier to get like a passing grade or like I don't know, repel the first few waves of the rampage and then leave. But then you have a choice whether you want to go for the I don't know, the actual tough finisher, the major threat. Kind of like some of the raids in Warframe where you're defending things for a while and it's your choice how long you want to go for, if you want to bet your rewards that you can keep going. The big bad, yeah. S plus, yeah. Oh yeah, we got it. That Magnamalo objective sealed it. Warframe is a bizarre game. It is a super bizarre game. Cool gun lance, Mad Cow. Is it about war? No, I mean, it's like sci-fi war, sure. It's about like aliens and stuff. Aliens and yeah, it's about grinding is the real answer. Holy plates, my goodness. 2 plates and a Jasper. Thanks, game. Does it have iframes? I don't even know. I've played a tiny bit of Warframe. I have played through the opening 20 hours or so like 3 or 4 times. And then gone, oh yeah, I don't like MMOs. And stopped playing it. Does it have Garuga? It does not have Yan Garuga. Wow. A fade window 3. All right. Well, Fish Kebab, are you ready to jump in and hunt? Anybody who's currently in the hub or in the chat, if you've played before, feel free and type !join again and rejoin the queue if you'd like to hunt in the next few rounds. We've gone through, I think, just about everybody who'd like to hunt for once, except for Fish Kebab here. So feel free and type !join if you wanna jump in. Yeah, this group here, Raka, Mad Cowzor, and Ninja Frog, it's been nice to hunt with you guys. I'm gonna have you guys cycle out, and we'll cycle you guys back in if you jump in to join again. Unless it was Crimson Gunner, Raka. Crimson Gunner, you can stay if you want, because you're already in the next group. If you guys want to hunt again, just go ahead and type !join, and we'll get our next group on the way. So far, our next group is Fish Kebab and Crimson Gunner. Here's the hub info. Amatsu. I don't know if I have an Amatsu command. I never made bow builds at the end of this game, did I? No. Did I seriously never make a better bow build? That's so weird. Huh. Guess not. Thanks for the hunts. It was nice to hunt with you. Also, Naminomai, it's good to see you. All right, we still have one more spot. Anybody who wants to join is welcome to right now for this final spot here in this hub. Let's see, what do I need? I still need more Narwa. How do I need Narwa? What? I fought so much All-Mother. Maybe All-Mother doesn't drop those. You use Charge Blade yet? Not tonight. Maybe next. Could do some Bazooka. Let's do some Bazooka. All-Mother has its own drops. Gotcha. I'll have to do a regular Narwa sometime then. Gotcha. I'll have to do some regular Narwa then. That's neat. I'm glad I have reason to go back to that hunt. I actually can barely remember the regular All-Mother, or the regular Narwa hunt. I did so much All-Mother. Alright, last call. If you want to join the hub, it's up on the screen right now, and feel free to. Alright. Let's get this. Haven't fought a Bazooka in a very long time. It with Charge Blade should be interesting. I like that Devil Joe emote. Let's savor the thrill of the hunt. I like your message, Raka. Are you still going for a bit? You could be a Rise enjoyer. It'd be fun to hunt with you. We're gonna go for another hour or so. Yeah, we got time. We also have space in this hub. You can join right now if you want, Jack. Type !lobby in the chat and I'll have the lobby info for you. Oh shoot. That was timed perfectly where one scale hit me directly and the other one exploded. Good stuff. Whoops. I appreciate the in-hunt mine. I heard that. And I appreciate it. Jumped right into it there. I apologize, folks. Enjoy the beans, at least. Theme is so good. It is good. They did a nice job with it in this game, I think. I wish you got to hear it as he intruded more. I feel like I avoided him actively when I was first playing through Monster Hunter World in high rank. And so by the time you get to Master Rank, he doesn't really intrude anymore. So I didn't really have a whole lot of the experience of Basilgeuse intruding on my hunts and hearing that theme starting to play. I wish I'd had that experience more. Oh, cool. Thanks, game. It's funny. Thank you for the song, cat. Oh, dude, the aiming is so weird now. Nice KO. Dang it. Nice fish. Wait, no, he stole it from me. I thought we both were going to share it, but nope, that's not how that works in this game, I guess. So in this game, you can either have Savage Axe or SAD, but not both? No, not quite. In this game, you can charge your sword or you can charge your shield, but not both. Charging your sword doesn't have anything to do with SAD. I just don't SAD very often. Dead. Nice hunt, folks. That was quick. I got a gem. Nice. I don't have very many of those. Got the back break. Nice. I didn't even know we had a back break, but I can see it there. Good job. I think Savage Axe is better than SAD. It does... Okay, I think SAD still has a higher damage potential depending on your build. In terms of like just straight up one move, it has higher damage. But in terms of practicality and fitting it in and landing it, the Savage Axe moveset's a lot easier to work into Rise than SAD and AED are. They're just very slow and they have weird file hitboxes from what folks have said to me. Axe Hopper Charge Blade, where you jump up in the air, sometimes will help you land more SADs. Or at least it will help you land more of SAD's files. Oh god, poor Basil. You can see all three of us. You can see Crimson Gunner up there breaking the back, and you can see me and Fish just wailing on this poor thing's head. How's it going? It's going well, Smiley-O. Thanks for asking. Feel free and put whatever you want for us to hunt. At this point, I think we're kind of... I don't know, we're getting to a point where we're doing basically anything. I'm not really worried about shifting through multiple groups because there's not anybody in the queue. There's not anybody in the queue, rather. Where's Raccoon Boy? He's somewhere. He might be lurking. Maybe he went to bed. It's your birthday today and you just got Rise? Haven't started playing it yet though? I hope you have so much fun, Smiley-O. Let me know if there's a hunt in this game that I can do as like a birthday hunt for you to celebrate. And if not, well then, I hope you just have a really nice birthday playing Rise. That's really exciting. Let us know what you think of it as you play through. We're gonna rip open the space-time continuum. That's what you're saying, Fish Kebab? Me too, Frenchie. I miss the other meals. Dongo is cute, but I wish there was some variety. Whoop, I didn't mean to do that. Don't know what all Rise has to hunt, but you have a fondness for Kutku and Pookie Pookie. Well, at least some of that will be satisfying to you. I'll try not to really reveal too much about what's in the game while we're playing. Quadruple Dongo and Master Rank Pog. Wow. Imagine that. Nice job.
Mepo, Labiche.
That was quick. Wish more people would use Gun Lance and Rise. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Shoot. Almost there with stuns. Over halfway there with the elemental blights. Shoot. Oh no! Didn't get to get the final stun because of that. Unlocked a lot of stuff after that though, which feels good. Weapon got a lot of cool stuff. It's one of the least used weapons in the game. The usage stats for the game are kind of interesting to be able to know. That's something new to the series. We didn't really know that before the last entry or two. We're coming along nicely though on the objectives. The areas the rampage takes place in are pretty cool. I don't spend too much time looking around them, but they're pretty neat. They definitely remind me of some of the fortresses that you defend in the old games. Like the town where Lao Shan comes. There goes the stun. Nice job. Nice. That fire's coming in handy for the Elemental Blight. Good job. And there it is. Alright, we got machine cannons unlocked. Let's get those drop materials up. There we go. Doing good, folks. The lances don't get a lot of play in general. I think that their premise of being a shielded weapon makes them kind of less intuitive for a lot of folks. I was gonna pull that Mizitsune. That's funny. Nice job over there. There you go, one more. There we go. Man, it feels good to do rampages when you got a whole team of folks. Whoops. Trying to play lances, but it just doesn't feel as fun. It kind of takes finding a matchup that I feel like is kind of oppressive in other ways. Like if there's a matchup that really gives you a hard time with ranged weapons or with other Blade Master weapons, sometimes being able to negate every aspect of a matchup with Lance and Gun Lance feels really, really fun. To have your, like, to basically have like a plan of how exactly you're gonna respond to every single move the monster throws out, whether you're blocking it or countering it or hopping just out of range. It feels so satisfying when you have that unlocked and you're able to just kind of keep a monster locked down and keep aggressive on them the entire time. That's to me where some of the satisfaction of Lance and Gun Lance comes from. So if you're finding other monsters that are kind of tough for Lance and Gun Lance, maybe I can understand some folks not liking it as much. Nice job, folks. Gummy! This kind of looks like a Matsu if it was a Leviathan. Yeah, their face structure is pretty similar, isn't it? Webicon. Nice to meet you. Hope you're having a nice night so far. Oh, did I go to the wrong place again? I did. Whoops. Huh. So Arachna is like a really nice monster for Switch Axe because there are multi-hits for you on the back, which means you can charge up your Switch Axe files extra fast. Huh. Never noticed that before. All right, here we go. When you played 3, you use the lances for underwater. I've heard that too. I've heard that lance is pretty advantageous underwater. The charge is a good mobility option. And it's nice being able to block. You're at a loss for a defensive option underwater, so it makes sense that an inherently more defensive weapon like lance would do pretty well. Whoops. Nice fish, jeez. Nice KO. Whoops. Whoops. Nice. Wow. Poor Ibushi. Poor Ibushi. I don't think Slap Lance has been by default the best since maybe Base World. I feel like it was the most efficient way of dealing damage for Gun Lance then, maybe, but in Master Rank especially, each shelling type comes into its own in a spammy, but stronger than Slap Lance way, at least. Or at least to rival Slap Lance. And then in this game, Slap Lance is by no means the best way to play Gun Lance, but I don't know. I think Gun Lance is in a great place in this game, personally. I mean, like, obviously it could be stronger still. Its counter could be more like some of the other counters in the game, but in terms of its moveset and balancing of the different mechanics, I think it's in a good spot. Ibushi is definitely small enough to fit in locales. Yeah, it would have been cool to fight him in like the Misty Peaks. It could have been Misty Peaks, Shrine Ruins. It could have been a cool challenge to keep up with him as he migrated around the Shrine Ruins. I feel like that'd be neat. Bummer they didn't do that. S, easy S+. Good job, folks. Sub 15. Sub 15 is pretty good for a three round rampage. Misty Peaks and Rise. Even before Misty Peaks, I'd love Deserted Island. That was an attack boost with 2 single slots. That's pretty nice. Yeah, I'd like Mogul with Deserted Island and Rise really well. That'd be pretty cool, I think. What does it mean when the hub song's like that? That little noise means there's a lottery here. So what that means, as Fox, is you come over to the merchant and you go to lottery and you can pay with money and you get a lottery. Sometimes it's items, sometimes there are little trinkets for your room. Okay, feel free and post up whatever you guys would like. We have time for maybe a couple more hunts here. I'm just setting up some melding to do. All right, cheers, Jack. Thanks again for the raid. I'm glad you had a nice, cozy, long day. Working on getting a capture card for the Switch. Nice, congrats. Hope you're able to find one easily. There's some decent ones that aren't too expensive out there. Why don't we play some Lance? Speaking of Lance. Yeah, initially there were fewer skills you could use to scale shelling, and they weren't designed to scale shelling into G rank, Smileo. There were also just less shelling mechanics in general. So you basically just had shells and Wyvern Fire. There weren't any particularly interesting options like, I mean, I guess there was still normal, long, and wide, but it was just slightly different damage versus clip size, and I guess probably hitbox as well, compared to nowadays where different gun lances boost different parts to different mechanics of it. Like full burst, Wyvern's Fire, charge shelling, worm stake blast, stuff like that. That's part of why I think Gunlance nowadays is so good in that way, especially in this game, is it feels like there's genuine trade-offs to using each one. But each option, even without those trade-offs, like even with long being long, you can still full burst with it in this game. Even with wide still being wide, you can still do some stuff like Wyvern's Fire. And I don't know, and use the Worm Stake even though it doesn't technically boost it. It's neat. I think that's part of what sticks out to me as being so good about Rise Gunlance in specific, is like, even though you can still specialize towards one type of Gunlance, all the options are varied enough to access and still decent enough without that boost to them specifically that you'll still end up using them some of the time, and I think that's special. What would you prefer it be, Precious Stones? Wide Gunlance feels so much better in World. Yeah. That was my preferred style in Iceborne. Let's savor the thrill of the hunt. I gotta make some more shoutouts in this game. Oh, I forgot to trade out for guard 5. I might need to go change that. Yeah, I might need to go change that. We'll see. Monkasteer. Hey, nice lance fish kebab. Should you be using lance without guard? Depends on the matchup, but in general, at least a couple points will do you well. The levels that, like, there are levels that deal a little bit more potent boosts to your guard, and those are 1, 3, and 5. Outside of those 3, 2 and 4 are a little bit less potent and are not generally recommended. At least 1 should be on your set at all times, really, unless you're gonna focus just on the instant block that's in this game. I have 3 right now. I feel like 5 is really comfortable on Valstrax, because it means you don't have to worry about any of his moves being too strong in that way. Whoops. Nice fish. Never played World, don't have a PS4 and your laptop does not have the compatibility for it. That's okay. Someday I hope you get to. World is a cool game, and one you'll definitely remember as one of the ones that influenced the series' direction. Oh gosh, I forgot there were explosions there. You go no guard? Okay. To each their own. There are ways, I mean, you can just focus on positioning instead of guarding, but especially with some of the fast monsters in this game, you need to guard sometimes. However, if you are focusing on positioning and evasion instead, you can just use guard as a last ditch and take the chip damage and health. There are certain matchups I feel like that'd be really rough on. Yeah, insta-block is okay as a way to get around that. To me, insta-block in this game feels like you end up waiting a lot because it's hard to combo into it if you're already attacking. And the damage that isn't there, the damage that's there is from the follow-up attack doesn't feel worth it to me in terms of standing around waiting for an opening to use it. He totally did fish. So that's why I decided not to use it. I liked instant block a lot in Generations, but it feels a little different to me in this game. Nope, missed it. Well, it's not even just the window beast too, it's like you can't combo into it in the same way you could in Generations, and the damage for the follow-up that you get from it actually is lesser than in Generations. So to me it feels a little less worth it, but to each their own. If you're used to playing around it or you like playing around it, then you should. And it is interesting because it does free up your sets to be able to use a lot of different skills and you're not worried about guarding because of that. I should really have French free on this set. Who needs guard? Nice fish. Whoops. I really should put flinch free on. Ouch. Totally whiffed that, but he also wasn't aiming for me, so. Hey, it's Magnamalo. Magnamalo immediately went to sleep. How on earth did that happen? And now he's awake. Who woke him up? To each their own, Dragon James. If you like playing like that, that's just fine. I'm not going to tell you to play differently. I actually don't feel like I needed guard 5 as much as I thought I did for this set. I think playing like that would definitely make you, like, without any evade extender or guard on Lance and Gunlance would definitely make them play a little bit more like their old gen counterparts. I just feel like wrestling with some of the newer fast fights like that maybe wouldn't feel as good. But if you enjoy it, then where taste is concerned, or yeah, where taste is concerned, there is no argument. That's the saying. There's so many turf wars happening. Yeah, there's only certain matchups in the series where I felt like evade extender has been super important for certain weapons. It's definitely not a skill I enjoy putting on every weapon in the series, but certain weapons, certain matchups make it feel pretty good. Heavy bowgun in some of the older games really needs it to get out of the way of some monsters safely, consistently. Ow. It's not universally necessary. At least it doesn't feel that way. Nice. Oh my gosh, the Thunderblight. I was curious about what you meant, Smiley. I think to me it really depended on the monster. Some monsters weren't aggressive enough or large enough to require a Veda Extender, but there were a lot, like, there were enough fights in 2nd and 4th gen that I've done that required it, that I felt like I put it on most of my heavy bowgun sets, yeah. And then in this game, it's just like I put it on every set just as like a copium to try and not experience like the 5th gen heavy bowgun roll. It's not even that I feel like you really need it in a lot of matchups. You do in some, but for the most part, it's just like, please get rid of this roll, God. Nice job. Good Valstrax hunt, folks. You guys down to do those crowned Apex before we leave tonight? As a final quest, or at least a final quest attempt. Yep. Weapons like Gunlance that have kind of limited mobility can feel a lot nicer with a Veda Extender. Did the chest explosion kill him? I don't know. We'll see with the kill cam, I guess. Oof, that was off tone. No bird? I'll do no bird with you. Crimson Gunner, wanna do no spirit bird with us? Right. Cheers, Dragon James. Just be sure not to pick up bird. Alright. I'll try my best to not. How's it been going? You've been mostly playing with a friend. It's been going well, Radmeal. We've had a lot of fun tonight. This game is just great to play. No bird run? Yeah. No bird crowned Apex run. Let's get it, you three. You two. Us three. How has been playing with your friend, Radmeal? Someone's first time here or a glitch? Either way, I'm down. I like the cutscene. Illuminated Dark. Hi, welcome. This game does seem to glitch out with cutscenes sometimes. First time here and literally only just started the game today. Oh, gosh darn it. Hang on. I'll be right back. Keep going. We're about to do one of the final quests in the game, Illuminated Dark, but I hope you've enjoyed it so far. Do you have any questions about Monster Hunter? Or about the game in general? I'm coming. You're waiting? Okay, I'm sorry. So bad. Whoops. We're trying to do the quest here without using the bird that spawns in the arena, and I just grabbed the bird without thinking. So, here we go. Sorry, friends. Watch us time out now or something. Slayed your first big monster, the Great Jaggy. You're a complete noob. Are you playing Monster Hunter Rise? Great Jaggy's not in the... Wait, Great Jaggy's not in this game, is he? No. Great Izuchi is. You're a complete noob. It's okay. Everyone's got to start someplace. I hope you really, really enjoy the games. These games are something really special, I think. Are we taking a picture? Oh, we're not taking a picture? Okay. I see how it is. Izuchi, I gotcha. Sorry, I'm not trying to be pedantic. I was just double checking you were playing this game. I forgot to use protective polish. What weapon? These are Rampage dual blades. I think they have some ice and blast on them. I'll look at them in a minute. Whoops, nice whiff. Yep, blast and ice, Rampage dual blades. Liking longsword so far, but I'm unsure what you really want to play. Longsword's very strong in this game, so it's a good pick if you're looking to start off with a strong weapon. My recommendation for anyone who's new is to kind of play around with the weapons for a little bit until you find one that you like the feeling of, and then go and look up a tutorial from somebody on YouTube and kind of follow along with them with the controls in the game, so you kind of know what all the weapons options are in terms of like all the different ways you can control them. Usually that helps me when I'm learning a new weapon in the game. Oh, sorry, Pattyman. Whoops. Whoop. Spooky. Some people do think longsword is too strong in this game, but especially for someone who's new, I wouldn't really worry about it. I would play whatever is fun. Whatever you're enjoying in the game, I'd say invest some time into that. There's plenty of time to worry about things being too strong or too weak later on if you get more into the series. Until then, just have fun. Alright, I'm not picking up the bird. I'm not picking up the bird. I'm aware of what they did, Patty, man. I just don't think it matters to a new person. Oh, really? Alright. It's okay. We turned that random explosion bubble into our advantage. And that's Apex Mizu. Good job, folks. Sorry for the cart. I'm definitely not used to doing this quest with other people drawing aggro. Mini crown? Cool. Got a plate. Ooh, look at this guy. My palms are little, I'm sorry. The funny part is I'm pretty sure he spawns like here. I'm almost positive about it. No, nice job, fish. Damn. Isn't this supposed to be an advanced quest? It is, yeah. This is pretty much the most advanced quest in the game. Oops. Instant charge. Thanks for the heals. Rathalos is actually fun. He is pretty fun. Are dual blades in Monster Hunter Rise fun? Yeah! They're my favorite weapon in this game. Whoops. If y'all are playing with Dragonheart, I apologize for healing you. Also, nice job, both of you. Aren't aerial dual blades a thing? Yeah, there are switch skills that let you focus on aerial damage a little bit more, and it does pretty potent damage too. I just don't like how it plays. You've done this quest a lot. Nice job with the bomb placement. I didn't see a Dragon Blight showing up on either of you guys' health bars, so I figure you're not running Dragonheart Resuscitate. If so, then I apologize for healing both of y'all. Alright, Apex Zen time. What a fun quest. Good finisher for the night. I like our 3 hunters. I feel like our sets go well together. It's fun, S-Fox. I'm looking forward to it as well. What does it take, though? Just practice. You don't need to be doing crazy damage for these guys. I mean, like, we're doing them quickly enough. It's just about learning the fights. That's all. Do you have to have the best gear? I mean, I don't have any upgraded armor at all, and I'm not getting destroyed, but I'm not getting hit a lot either, so you have to be kind of careful about it. It's just about practice. I believe this quest unlocks at HR 100 or past HR 100 in terms of hunter rank requirement. You'd be surprised. You'll get there pretty quick. If someone hasn't unlocked, can anyone else join? I think there's probably an HR requirement. I'll look at what the requirement is when I'm done with the quest. This is essentially the final quest in the game, but there are other quests as Fox that are as exciting, well, almost as exciting as this one. I think this is the most exciting quest in the game. Oh, wow, his tail is a hitbox for that, huh? What early game sets you should be going for? If anyone has any advice. In low rank, it's not too important what set you're using. The low rank monsters, especially in the single player village, are not scaled where you have to have any kind of particular damage to really finish them off easily. Any set that has attack in low rank or speed sharpening is going to be really nice. Yeah, Izuchi's good too. Crit Eye isn't as good as attack in low rank, but it doesn't really matter too much. I'd say, especially in low rank, try out any skill that you think sounds interesting. Honestly, you can do that for the whole game. The whole game is designed in a way where I don't think there are any hard damage walls, really, where you need every ounce of damage possible in order to clear things. So I'd say try things out. Try and learn about how the skills work, so if you're making your own set and kind of rolling your own, you know what like you're gearing towards and it's effective. But don't be afraid to try out skills that are different than the meta, what everybody else is doing. I think in low rank I used some Baggy and some Izuchi, some Ingot for speed sharpening or attack up, stuff like that. Oh gosh. Yo, this is scary. I'm sorry, I can't help you. I don't have any more best of lives. Probably should have saved them for this part of the fight. Oh. Cut the Shrouded Vault. Shrouded Vault. What's Shrouded Vault? Boom. Boom. God, he's so freaking cool. Nice job, folks. Oh, the dual blade silk line? Gotcha. Uh-oh. Nice job. This game made you love Zinogre. This game, Zinogre, is genuinely excellent in the realm of Zinogres. Especially the glowing eyes. The glowing eyes are pretty cool, aren't they? Oh god, little lag spikes are terrifying, dude. Oh, fish kebab. Oh, fish kebab. Oh, fish. Fish is scaring me. So are these lag spikes. You know, there's like freezing little bits on my screen. Oh, I'm stunned. Uh-oh. Yo! No way! I think that was Fish who just flashed Snowgirl out of that. That's insane that you just did that. Oh. Oh no! Good game, you guys. That was an excellent last quest. I'm sorry that happened. Crimson Gunner at the last second there. Quest clear. Time for drinks in Kamura. Dude, you have the nicest shoutouts. I gotta put in some shoutouts. That would happen. Y'all were both playing so clean the entire quest, and then it would happen like right at the very end. Still, super clean quest. Nice job, guys. Great way to end the night. The dunk. How did you, I mean, were you planning on that? Did you know I was gonna get stunned? You threw that flash on accident? Yo, you saved my life. I was gonna get smacked. You meant a life powder? That's amazing. That was some, I thought you were just like godlike ready with the flash. That really was your first time doing this? Well, then you did really well, Crimson Gunner. Had you fought the Apexes very many times on their own? Thanks a lot for the stream and the hunts. I hope I get to hunt with you more, Radmeal. I've gotten 3 Zinogre Jaspers tonight, by the way. I'm up to 7. Only done Apex Zin like 3 or 4 times. Well, nice job. You played very safely around him. It's difficult. I feel like it takes a lot of time to get used to his patterns, because at least he's got so many moves and different states where different combos become available to him that I feel like, for me at least, it took me quite a few times to really get used to those in a way where I could play safely around him, which is part of what makes that fight so damn good. I love how they're handling difficulty in this game. I really, really like it. Should be in high rank tomorrow. Don't rush too fast. You only get to go through the game once. Or I guess you only get to go through the game the first time once. We got the Bombaggy pot. That's cool. All right. I think that's what we're going to call it for the night. This has been a fun multiplayer night. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think it's fun getting to come back to this game every handful of days or weeks, play some multiplayer. I really do like Rise. Just wondering, is it possible to get the video output off of the Switch handheld into a PC? Handheld? No, not without a capture card. There were some brief installation services for capture cards in Switch for like portable mode capture, but the people who do those don't do them anymore. What other games do you play? Pretty much just Monster Hunter. Right now we're playing through Monster Hunter Freedom for the PSP, as well as a few other random Monster Hunter titles sometimes. But it's generally just one Monster Hunter game at a time. Rise was our game for the first part of the game, or for the first part of the year. We played Rise for like 5 or 6 months straight. Played really slowly the first time, made nearly every weapon and stuff, did all the quests, only up to high rank, so you think you're allowed to rush. Oh, I'd forgotten you already played through it, Ratmill. I apologize. Talking about a capture card that you can use while handheld, is that possible? It's possible to have a capture card installed into your Switch, but people don't do that anymore. Like, there's not people doing the installs anymore, unfortunately. People did briefly when the Switch first came out. I believe there were also some plans drawn up for a Switch Lite capture board, but they weren't ever actually installed by anybody. The same folks who were doing 3DS capture installs and Vita capture installs also did some Switch capture installs. Digital Foundry is a website that does like visual analysis of video games, and they use a handheld capture switch like that to obtain footage directly off the Switch for the settings and visuals that it runs during handheld mode. Anyways, it's 3 in the morning. I'm gonna get some sleep. If it was anyone's first time by the stream and you liked it, I'm gonna be playing lots of different kinds of Monster Hunter, but sometimes new Monster Hunter, sometimes old Monster Hunter. If that sounds fun to you, then feel free and stick around, leave a follow so you can see when we're live playing some MH here. We do have a Discord and a YouTube and a Twitter. YouTube and Twitter are good if you're just trying to see when the stream is live, or if you want to watch highlights on the YouTube. The Discord's actually genuinely a really cozy spot to hang out and talk about Monster Hunter. There are folks enjoying conversation about things new and old in the series there, and finding each other to hunt with in there. So if you're looking for a place like that, check it out. All right. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find somebody else who's streaming Monster Hunter. We're going to give them a raid. When people aren't saying, yeah. Exactly, Uchi. Let's see, who's on? I haven't gotten to raid Karada-sama in a long time, I feel like. Although our friend Fallison is playing Freeman Knight, I think I gotta hit Fallison with the Freeman Knight raid. We'll raid Karada soon, on a night where Fall is not streaming Freeman Knight. Alright, we're gonna go watch some old Monster Hunter. A friend of ours is playing through one of the older games that we like quite a bit, so we're gonna go ahead and raid them and check it out. I hope you guys have a good rest of the night, or a good day, whatever time it is where you are. If you're playing Monster Hunter, then happy hunting. Cheers. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. Have a good night.